Have you ever wondered how a handful of colonies, clinging to the edge of a vast, unknown continent, managed to give birth to one of the most powerful nations in history? How did 13 disparate British territories, separated by geography and culture, unite to forge a new identity? This is the story of the United States of America, a tale of rebellion, ideals, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. Our story begins in the 18th century along the rugged Atlantic coast of North America. Here, 13 British colonies thrived, from the bustling port cities like Boston and Philadelphia, filled with ambitious merchants and skilled artisans, to the sprawling farmlands of Virginia and the Carolinas. A new society was taking shape. These weren't just transplanted Englishmen. They were Americans in the making, developing their own unique character, their own economies, and their own ideas about how they should be governed. Life was a tapestry of hard work, community, and opportunity, but a storm was gathering on the horizon. The relationship with the mother country, Great Britain, was growing tense. A series of acts and taxes imposed by the distant Parliament in London felt like a heavy chain to the colonists, who believed fiercely in the principle of no taxation without representation. They had no voice in the government that was making decisions about their lives and their livelihoods. The sense of injustice simmered, and soon it would boil over. In 1773, a group of colonists in Boston, disguised as Native Americans, staged a dramatic act of defiance. They boarded British ships and dumped an entire shipment of tea into the harbor. This event, known forever as the Boston Tea Party, wasn't just about tea. It was a bold declaration that the colonists would not be ignored. The British response was swift and harsh, further fanning the flames of rebellion. The colonies, once separate and often squabbling, began to see that they had a common cause. In 1774, delegates from 12 of the 13 colonies met in Philadelphia for the First Continental Congress. They were not yet calling for independence, but they were united in their opposition to British policies. The call for unity grew louder, and militias began to form. Farmers, blacksmiths, and merchants started drilling on village greens, preparing for a conflict they hoped would never come. But it did. In April 1775, the shot heard round the world was fired at Lexington and Concord, marking the start of the American Revolutionary War. To lead their ragtag forces against the mightiest army on earth, the Second Continental Congress made a brilliant choice. A Virginian planter and veteran of the French and Indian War, George Washington. He would be the commander of the newly formed Continental Army, a force that would face incredible hardship, from brutal winters at Valley Forge to shortages of food, clothing, and ammunition. As the war raged on, the idea of simply seeking fair treatment within the British Empire faded. The desire for complete separation grew into a powerful, undeniable force. In the sweltering summer of 1776, a committee was tasked with drafting a document that would change the world. A young, eloquent Virginian named Thomas Jefferson took the lead, and with contributions from brilliant minds like Benjamin Franklin and John Adams, he penned the Declaration of Independence. On July 4, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted this radical document. It declared that the 13 colonies were now free and independent states, and it laid out a philosophy of human rights that would inspire generations to come, that all men are created equal with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This brings us to the men who risked everything for this audacious idea. We often call them the Founding Fathers, but who were they? They were not gods. They were flawed, brilliant, and courageous men from diverse backgrounds. There was George Washington, the indispensable leader, whose perseverance held the Continental Army together through its darkest days. His quiet strength and unwavering commitment to the cause made him the embodiment of the Revolution. Then there was Thomas Jefferson, the visionary author of the Declaration. He was a man of the Enlightenment, a scholar, an architect, and a diplomat whose words articulated the very soul of the new nation's aspirations. Benjamin Franklin, the elder statesman, was a world-renowned scientist, inventor, and diplomat. His wisdom, wit, and crucial diplomatic work in France secured the foreign aid that was vital to winning the war. John Adams, the passionate and often stubborn lawyer from Massachusetts, was a driving force for independence from the very beginning. His powerful arguments and tireless work in Congress were essential to unifying the colonies behind the cause. And James Madison, a brilliant political theorist, would later be known as the father of the Constitution for his pivotal role in designing the framework for the new government. These men, along with many others, debated in study rooms filled with parchment and ink, their quills scratching out the future of a continent. They were pledging their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to a dream. The path from revolution to a functioning republic was long and brutal. The war was a desperate struggle. The Continental Army, led by Washington, faced defeat after defeat in the early years, but their spirit never broke. Key victories, like the stunning surprise attack at Trenton and the crucial turning point at the Battle of Saratoga, proved that the Americans could stand against the British. The war stretched across the colonies, from the woods of New York to the swamps of South Carolina. Finally, with the critical help of the French fleet and army, the American and French forces cornered the main British army under Lord Cornwallis at Yorktown, Virginia. In October 1781, Cornwallis surrendered. The fighting was effectively over. The impossible had happened. The colonies had won their independence. But winning the war was only half the battle. Now they had to build a nation. The first attempt at a government, the Articles of Confederation, proved too weak to hold the new states together. The country faced economic chaos and political turmoil. It was clear that a new, stronger framework was needed. So, in 1787, delegates once again gathered in Philadelphia. This time, their goal was to create a government that could endure. For 4 long, hot months, they debated, compromised, and forged the new document, the United States Constitution. This remarkable document established a republic with a system of checks and balances, separating power between 3 branches of government: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial, to protect the liberties the people had fought so hard to win. It was then ratified, and in 1789, George Washington was unanimously elected as the first president of the United States. The revolution was complete. A new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal, had been born. From 13 scattered colonies to a united republic, the birth of the United States is a testament to the power of ideas and the courage of those who dare to fight for them. It's a story that continues to shape our world today. Thank you so much for joining us on this historical journey. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. We'll see you next time.